Hey, good morning everybody. I just wanted to make this video to officially announce my 2019 Appalachian Trail through hike. As many of you know, I did an attempt last year. I started February 20th and I was on the trail I think 7 weeks, did 600 miles and a lot of weight loss. I lost like 40 pounds, and then the biggest thing was I had a problem with my heel. That I did not want to take a chance of it getting worse and not being able to go back and retry. And I was actually hoping to get back on last year after a week or two off, but you know, once you get home, you get doing a few things, other things come up, and of course time ran out and I didn't want to push it, so I decided to go ahead and wait and get back on this year. So anyways, that's my official announcement. Ramdino actually has a YouTube channel where he's got all the 2019 hikers, and he's got my name on there, and I've actually picked up a few people on there as far as you know, to my channel. So anyways, the other thing I wanted to do was a pack explosion. A couple of changes I've made this year to save weight, actually saved a lot of weight, which I'm hoping is going to make it a lot more comfortable hike this year. So anyways, we'll get off right here, and I'm going to get my pack explosion out there, and we'll show you what we're taking. Alright everybody, I think I've got everything out here. I'm going to try to use this yardstick. Anyways, last year I used ULA Circuit backpack, which was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It worked, did a great job, but it weighed 44 ounces, which is still not a lot. So this year I've got the Arc Haul, Z-Pack Arc Haul. There's my trowel on the back, and I did save the. I took 2 of the elastic pieces. This holds your water bottle, which was really convenient last year. A lot of people asked me where they could get them, but it came with the UL backpack. And I will say I'll be using a UL backpack a lot more, just not on a through hike like this, because like I said, I saved 20 ounces. 20 ounces with my backpack. I mean, that's 1.25 pounds. Start out the hike. I'm going to use this hike and bike mummy bag, and that's a 0-degree bag. Last year I started with my 20-degree top quilt, and I ended up having this sent to the NOC because it definitely got cold, and I'm glad I did, because in the Smokies it got down to somewhere between 0 and 5 degrees. So that thing paid off. And one thing I want to tell people though too is a lot of people out there that hike that try to stick their heads in those bags. You can actually have get into trouble doing that, because you get in there and you're breathing carbon monoxide because you're closing yourself in. I've got for sleeping, I've got this wool buff and this hat that I put on, and that way I can breathe through that buff, and it worked fine for me. So anyways, that's my my new backpack. I got the 2 pockets to go with it, and like I say, I saved 20 ounces there. I'll be using the Z-Pack duplex tent. Last year I used the 6 Moon Sol Luna, which was a great tent as well. Single trek and pull. This is a double trek and pull. And my Sol Luna, I had a heavier floor. You can get them to 26 ounces. Mine was 32 ounces. I mean, it still was a great tent. One person, but this tent is 19 ounces, and so 19 ounces on this tent, 32 on the other. Between these 2 items alone, I saved 2 pounds. Then I've got, of course, my this is, you know, these bags are supposed to be waterproof, but you know, better call it water resistant. You never know. I've got a compactor bag that goes in there. This is like a ShamWow that I used in my tent last year, just to get the condensation in the morning. I would just kind of go around, you know, before I got out of my sleeping bag and wipe things down before I rubbed up against them and got them wet. And that ShamWow works good. Very lightweight, hanging on the back of your pack to dry. This is a Climate sleeping bag, insulated version. It was 23 by 72 inches, and I think 4.4 insulation. I actually cut this down to 48 inches. So basically, it'll I'll lay on this from my shoulder down to my knees. And I cut 19 inches or 19 ounces. I went down to 13, so I saved 6 ounces there. These are my heavy wool socks for sleeping. And then I got this year, and this is a Gossamer Gear 1/8 inch, and it was a 5-foot pad. And I'm sure a lot of y'all know any of these mats in your tent, any type of incline, and you start sliding. I mean, you find yourself right against the side of the tent. That was really annoying last year. So this year I'm going to be laying this. This weighs like 2 ounces. I think 2.5 ounces. I think this will go underneath my sleeping pad in the shelter to protect the pad, and in my tent to prevent slipping. Then for my tent, I've got 6 shepherd hooks, and those are titanium. And then I've got the little heavier hooks. They're the shepherd hook stakes, and I got the little heavier stakes, you know, the 3-sided that I use for the front and back where the trekking pole connections are. And this is just some extra glow-in-the-dark line in case I want, you know, tie the end of the tent out up over a stick or to a tree to, you know, expand the ends of the tent. Oliver, get out of there, buddy. And this is Z-Pack combination pillow closed bag, and I used that last year for my pillow, and it worked great. You know, you got your extra clothes in there, and you know, that way with this 4-foot pad, my head will actually be off the end of the pad onto that, and so then my knees will just be going down, and then from my knees to my feet, I'll just put my backpack underneath there, or, you know, whatever else got laying around there, just to, you know, protect it from the ground. And then going on to my medical stuff, of course I got some toilet paper, I got some moleskin, ibuprofen, I got a little bit of Neosporin in there, I got a Z-Pack toothbrush in there, I got another, the little tiny tube in there is probably good for about two brushes, so I got another little tube here. I got some tweezers, hand sanitizer, which will go in my bag, and that's a lemon scented, so my hands will smell good. I've got some dental floss, and in here, this is some duct tape. I've actually got a needle in there. I might even have 2 in there, just for repairs if I need it. You can use your dental floss as string and sew something up in case of emergency or anything like that. I mean, it weighs nothing. This is a repair kit for my climate sleeping pad if I get a leak, and then I got some band-aids over here. This is just a little lightweight pouch that, you know, I'll be carrying my cash and credit card and driver's license in. And of course my handkerchief that'll hang on my bag. And then on to electronics. I'm going to have, actually I'm filming with my camera. I got a Sony FDR X3000, and I'll take a picture of that and put it in the video. It's actually very small, real competitive as far as, you know, GoPro. I think it weighs like 4 ounces. It's small, and it's got better stabilization from everything I've watched, you know, reviews on it. So anyways, I got my Anchor 10,000, which I don't know if I'm going to keep that the whole way. I'm going to take it at the beginning because it weighs 8 ounces, and to be honest with you, I put my phone on airplane mode, and I take a few pictures along the way, and of course then I video with my camera, and I've got 3 batteries for my camera. There's 2 here, 1 in the camera obviously. But you know, I don't remember, I think I used that 1 time last year in 7 weeks. Because usually I would just, you know, when you're on airplane mode, you just don't, you know, lose power. I mean, I would go 5-6 days without, you know, having to worry about it with my phone. But I'm going to take it at the beginning, and then you know, when I get to, you know, down the road somewhere and I decide I don't need it. This is a charger for my batteries for my camera. This is a charger for my phone and to plug in that for the batteries. And it just plugs in the wall right here. And then, of course, it's got 2 charging ports there. This is just a little like 6-inch charging cord. And this one here is a little longer, about 2 foot.
And I've actually got 2 of those, but I'm going to take the little longer one because, like, when I'm in a hostel, if I got a plug by the bed, I can sit and do my videos on my phone and to download to YouTube, and I'm not, having to worry about charging my phone back up. The cord, will reach, hopefully. At least it did last year. Last year, I used this on my hiking sticks to film with, and this was like 2.5 ounces. So this is gone this year. Another place I saved. This is 1/2 ounce, and this is the stick pick that goes on the end of my trekking pole. I've also got a Gorilla Pod. I've got it on my camera here. I'll go ahead and unscrew it. I don't really need it now. Had it on there for when I was videoing myself. So that's a little Gorilla Pod I got for using on the trail. I've got 1 extra micro SD card and the larger card that it goes into. Black diamond headlamp, of course. That thing worked great last year. Again, here's my wool cap, smart wool cap, smart wool buff, and that's the heavier buff. And then here I've got some smart wool long john pants for sleeping in, and a shirt which is wool as well, but this one I actually got from Cabela's. Okay, so those would be my sleeping attire, and of course that buff and hat I wear on the trail quite a bit. I got 2 pair of ex officio boxers. I got 2 pair of darn tough socks, and both of those I wore last year and worked great. These are a new pair of socks. And then I've got 1 smart wool mid-layer quarter zip shirt, which I loved last year. And then coming over here, this is Patagonia Capeline mid-weight with the hoodie, quarter zipper, and these things are really comfortable, and they're great too. It's amazing how some of these clothes keep you warm. Right here, I got my Columbia zip-off pants. These are a new pair. I've still got my pair from last year. These work great, and I've also got all the weight I lost last year. I had to buy a new pair in Hot Springs, and I still have those, which once I lose weight again, I'm going to probably end up having those shipped out to me as well, because they're about $50 or $60 a pair. Here's a lightweight buff for the days it's not real hot, maybe just wind or whatever. But anyways, it weighs hardly anything, but that's a lightweight buff. This is just kind of a actually, it's Old Navy Go Dry. It's 100% polyester. So this is just kind of a short sleeve base layer, and also my town shirt that I'm going to use with these like running shorts. These are very lightweight. I actually cut the liner of them, so I'll be using these in town when I'm doing laundry, wearing these 2 items. And if I have to on the trail, I could always, wear these and walk with them. And some of this stuff will be getting changed out as the weather changes. Here I've got 2 pair of compression sleeves for my knees. I wore them last year. I never had any problem with my knees, but maybe it's because I did wear them. So they're going to go with me. They don't weigh anything, and they can't hurt. And I think they helped. These come down below my knees too, and where I found myself once I got a little ache in my shins, and I didn't know if it was shin splints coming, I would actually pull these down further, closer to my covering just my front of my shins and not my knees, and I really do think they help. These are a pair of Z-Pack possum down gloves, and this is just a pair of kind of waterproof gloves that I got to go over top of those. They actually got a little bit of, I don't know, felt liner or something in there, but this will keep those. They actually do not soak up water, but the water will go through them. Then I've got outdoor research hat that this will keep the sun off of me when I'm out there. And then of course, for rain and wind, I've got the outdoor research helium 2 jacket, which I wore last year and will work fantastic as a wind jacket and light rain. And then for the heavier rain, last year I had Frog Tog jacket and pants, and I think together they probably weighed 14-15 ounces. the jacket itself, I ended up getting rid of the pants. First I cut them off at the knees, and then finally I just quit wearing them. And you know, these pants, you know, they get wet, they dry so quick, and you know, it's not like cotton or jeans where they just get saturated and stick to you. You know, these pants are so breathable and light, it's nothing to them. So I really didn't find a need for the pants. So this though is the ultralight Frog Tog. This jacket weighs like 5 ounces, and the other jacket, like I said, was 9. So there's another 4 ounces of savings there, and we'll see how long it lasts. They're cheap enough that it's no big deal. And then of course I've got my Ghost Whisperer jacket, and these things are fantastic. And if anybody knows that owns one or has had one, I mean, they weigh like 7 or I think 8 ounces, 7 or 8 ounces, but and they keep you warm. They work fantastic. I have Montum hiking sticks, and I used these last year. I got some duct tape wrapped around there in case I need it for anything. And I got some new tips on Amazon and put on there. And these tips I think were actually for Lecky pull. I'm not sure. I think they were Lecky. Kind of a universal tip, it said. So I got them and they fit and they work fine. So I got new tips on them. But those I had absolutely no problem with last year. They work great. Alright, back up here to food bags. Z-Pack food bag, and I got my last name written on there with a black magic marker, and I would recommend to anybody else to do the same, because a lot of the food bags are the same color. A lot of people have these bags. And then I got the slick line from Z-Pack, and a little rock bag I made there. And then coming up here, this is another change I made. Last year I had the Toaks 750 pot, which worked fine. I didn't even take this 450. I just took my Toaks 750. But this year I got the 900. This is the 900. And the reason being is it's bigger round, and it'll get more heat on the bottom. You got more surface to heat, so it may be quicker. But the other main reason is it's big enough to get my hand into to clean. You know, I got this little pad here, sponge and pad. I can get my hand in there and clean it easy. It's got longer handles that I can hold on to and eat out of. And then this is my 450 Toaks mug, which I've got my hot lips on. And this is just for coffee. Coffee, hot chocolate, drinks. Little can opener. Don't know if I ever need it, but it don't weigh anything. Pocket Rocket 2. Those things are great. I do not have a canister here, but you know, obviously I'll be getting a canister of fuel to take with me. My scrubby I showed you. Lighter, little lightweight pad for cleaning or drying, and then of course a Toaks long handle spoon. And then back here I have my Knox water bag. Last year I had the orange version. I still got it. The only reason I loved it as well. They work great, fantastic. The only reason I ended up getting one of these is they changed here, this part here. Last year when I would hold it, the top where you put the cap on would kind of get oblong. I'd have to get my fingers underneath here and just kind of hold it flat to get that cap on. Well, they've changed that. They've reinforced this and made it heavier. So I said to heck with it, you know, I'll get one for the money. And so now I got a blue and an orange one, and I can actually use it to filter from one to the other, which I'm not going to take on this trip, but for later uses it may work out great. And then I got a hydro blue filter, and that's pretty much it. So I've put everything in the pack, and I've weighed it, and I'm just a little, well, that's with taking out the clothes I'm wearing. I'll be wearing this, and I actually weighed the lighter one of these with that. One pair of socks. I took those out, and the shirt. But anyways, after I put everything together, I ended up, I was just right around 15 pounds. So last year I was about 23. So you can see I saved 8 pounds. One of the things I did is I cut the compression straps and everything off this bag. You know, I didn't see any need to compress it any more than that. I've got plenty of room in there. And this bag, I'll be changing this out I'll be going to my 20 degree hammock gear top quilt. Probably Damascus. I'll probably use this to Damascus and have my 20 degree top quilt, and that's going to save me a lot of weight as well, because this is 2 pounds 10 ounces, and my top quilt I believe is 20 ounces, 19 or 20 ounces, my 20 degree top quilt. So anyways, that's it. Anybody got any input or questions, feel free to get a hold of me. I appreciate any input that y'all can give me. Alright, thanks a lot. Alright everybody, that was my pack explosion. The one thing I did forget, did not have in there, and I've got them ordered, they just haven't showed up yet, is some ice cleats, some crampons for Smokies and Roan Mountain area. Last year the ice and snow was terrible in those areas, so definitely get my ice cleats. And actually I'm going to have them sent to Fontana Village, so they're there when I get there. But, and we can kind of add that in here. But I've got my scale here. We're going to see where we're at.
Super Bowl travel season at the world's busiest airport. Eric, and there'll be another great team next week as we can see the Atlanta Police.
I don't know if you can see that, but we're right at 15 pounds. So I might be 15 and a half pounds time I get my ice cleats in there, and then of course once I get to further up the trail, I'll be trading out that sleeping bag, and I'll be knocking off more than a pound, 20 ounces there. So we're going to give that a try, and like I say, it's a lot less weight than I was carrying last year. So hopefully that makes a difference. Alright, we'll see you down the trail.